50,000 euros. Every month for 6 months, gone. And nobody in the company knew. Not the CEO, not the sales director, nobody. It took a new pair of eyes and 2 days to find it. 2 days to uncover 300,000 euros in damage that had been invisible for half a year. Now let me tell you how that happens. Because there's a good chance it's happening in your company right now. If you're running a mid-sized company or you're responsible for its results and you think you have a good handle on your numbers, then this video might make you uncomfortable. Good, because that's the point. Teresa started a new job in January as a head of sales. Well, 20 salespeople under her, but company was good, profitable, stable growth. First thing she did, she asked for the numbers. Show me what we've got. I'd like to have revenue by region, by product, by salesperson. Well, what she got back was an Excel file with thousands of rows, just raw transaction data. Every order, every line item, every customer dumped into a spreadsheet. She couldn't see anything. Well, you can't see the forest for the trees. But not because the data was wrong, but because it was just data. A wall of numbers with no structure, no story, no clarity. So she asked, don't you have this broken down by region, by product line? The answer was, well, we have the totals in the monthly report. And that was it. Total revenue, total margin, total growth. Well, the growth was 5 to 6%, and that looks fine. And for everyone in that company, it was fine. Those were the numbers they looked at every month. And every month, the same conclusion. We are growing, we are on track, let's keep on going. But Teresa had an advantage that most executives don't have. In her previous company, she had worked with proper reporting. No Excel dumps, not just monthly totals. She had dashboards and reports where she could see at a glance which region was on track, which product was growing, which salesperson needed support. Well, she knew what good looks like. So she didn't accept the Excel file. She called in an analytics team that could make the data visible. Not new data, the same data. Everything was already in the company's ERP system and in their data warehouse. And it had been there the whole time. Then, within a couple of days, the picture became clearer. One sales region, revenue down. Not that much, just 50,000 euros per month. But for every month since July, 6 months of decline that nobody had noticed. Because in the totals, well, it didn't show. Other regions were growing. The aggregate looked fine. 300,000 euros in damage. Invisible for half a year. They went deeper. Why was this region down? Well, it turned out a new salesperson had taken over in June. The person before was let go, barely any handover, actually none. Well, the new guy was doing his best. He was even growing 2-3%, but from a lower base. Because there was an entire product line, actually two, he had never learned to sell. Nobody showed him. Nobody told him. He didn't know he was supposed to be selling it because there was no proper handover. His predecessor got fired. Well, 5 product categories, he was active in only 3. The other 2, 0 effort, 0 revenue. Not because he was lazy, because nobody could see it. On the other hand, the data existed. The problem existed, but the connection between them, that didn't exist. And that was just the first finding. The same analysis or similar analysis uncovered 4 more blind spots. 4! In a company that thought everything was just fine. Now, here's why I'm telling you this story. Teresa's company wasn't stupid. They weren't careless. They had good people, good products, loyal customers. But here is what they didn't have. And here's what most mid-sized companies don't have. They didn't have the reports that would have caught this. I'm not saying their reports were bad. I'm saying the reports they had, they didn't show them right now that this region needs attention, this salesperson has a gap, that this product line is not being sold. Well, those reports didn't exist. Nobody had ever built them. Not because they couldn't afford to, not because they forgot, because they didn't know those reports were even a thing. The reports that showed what happened. Revenue last quarter. Margin this month. That's the documentation. That's the rear view mirror. But the reports that were missing, the ones that could have caught this in July instead of in January, those are completely different types of reports. Reports that show you where to look right now, what needs your attention and why. See, most mid-sized companies don't have these reports. And the biggest problem? Well, they don't even know they're missing them because they've never seen them. They think what they have is what reporting looks like, but it doesn't. There's an entirely different level that most companies have never even experienced. So how do you know if this applies to you? Well, let me give you 4 situations. Well, check them against your own company and be honest with yourself. Number 1, you lost a customer and you only found out when the revenue was already gone. 3 months of declining orders. Well, smaller quantities, longer gaps between purchases, all the warning signs were or are in your data, but nobody saw them because no report was tracking customer behavior over time. You don't have any early warning system. You just have a rear view mirror. Number 2, one of your products is losing margin and nobody can tell you exactly why. Raw material costs went up, discounts got too aggressive, product mix has shifted. Well, your team has theories, but nobody has a report, a data story that shows margin development by product, by customer, by month. So you discuss it in the meeting, everyone guesses, and you just move on. Number 3, your best salesperson is carrying the team, and your weakest is hiding in the average. The total is growing, but you can't see that one person is responsible for 80% of the growth, and another hasn't won a new customer in 6 months. Nobody ever built a report that breaks performance down to the individual level. Number 4, your order books look full, but you're not sure all those orders are real. Customer placing orders just to secure stock, to make sure they'll get their allocation in 3 or 6 months, obviously. And when the time comes, they cancel or reduce. Meanwhile, you've planned your production around those orders. You've tied up working capital. Millions potentially locked in inventory nobody actually needs. And you have no way of seeing which orders are solid and which are phantom, because no report is tracking ordering patterns over time. Now here's the thing. None of these are catastrophic on their own. A lost customer here, some margin erosion there, a salesperson underperforming, some suspicious orders. Each one costs you maybe 20, 30, 50,000 a year. You would never notice any single one. But add them up. Well, there's a German saying, Kleinvieh macht auch Mist, which means small animals make manure too. The small things add up. And in most mid-sized companies, these invisible problems, the ones no report is catching, add up to hundreds of thousands a year. Every year. Because there's no report that makes them visible. So let me ask you something. How sure are you that this isn't happening in your company right now? If you're not sure, that's okay. You're not alone. Most mid-sized companies are exactly in this position. But here's the good news. This is solvable. Teresa was lucky. She had seen what good reporting looks like. Actually, her company was lucky. But most companies and their executives aren't that lucky. And that's what this channel is all about. Because this is the first video in a series. In this one, I wanted to show you something most mid-sized companies never realize. That there's a kind of reporting you probably don't have, and it's costing you money you can't see. In the next videos, I'm going to show you more of these patterns. The blind spots, the hidden costs. And I'm going to show you what to do about them, what the right reports actually look like, how companies your size are solving this faster and more affordably than you would expect. But the first step is seeing it. And if you recognize yourself in any of these 4 signs, you have already taken that step. Subscribe if you don't want to miss what's coming next. Links in the description. I'm Felix Golenkos. I spent 35 years helping companies turn data into profit. So let's get started.